Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys having a great day. And above all else, trying to be looking after yourselves and one another. Ladies and gentlemen, before I get into the topic of what we hope to be another entertaining, informative episode, and just for shits and giggles, I want to welcome back to the channel Jim Bricker. How's it going, Jim?
I'm doing okay. I hope I do more giggling than the other thing.
I hope so too. I hope so too. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our Rush times three series of episodes. We are looking at our Rush top 10 tracks. I was going to do this solo, but Jim spoke up and he wanted to be a part of this. So we put together our favorite Rush top 10 tracks. We're just going to do this for fun. This is all to coincide with the new release, upcoming release, sorry, of Grace Under Pressure, the Super Deluxe box set. And just a little side note, ladies and gentlemen, if you can get it for a decent price, go for it. Okay. It's going for a pretty penny on Amazon.com, $437. Just a little side note. If you can avoid that, avoid it. But I'm not one to gossip, so you didn't hear that from me. So, yes, we're going to give you our top 10 tracks of Rush. And again, I was brought up right by my mama. And I'm going to let Jim go first. So, Jim, go for it. Your number 10.
My number 10. Okay. I want to sort of put a caveat on like an umbrella caveat statement all over my whole list, which is that it's likely not to going to contain many surprises. My Rush wheelhouse is pretty much in the, bell curve of the most popular Rush albums. So, expect that. Don't
Yeah,
expect
okay.
the unexpected with me, although some of my choices may make folks scratch their heads.
Okay.
Um, all right. So having said all that, number 10. My number 10 is what I think is the first Rush song I ever heard. So the backstory here is in high school, you would see these guys around hanging out in the smoking section with these giant metallic belt buckles that were usually ovals. And
Yeah.
you would see, guys with like the Rush logo or the Naked Man logo or whatever. And you would see these posters at record shops and whatnot. And I said, okay, clearly Rush is a popular thing. One of these days I'll have to hear myself some Rush. Didn't listen to the right radio stations as far as I recall to hear any.
Yeah.
But one day at a friend's house, she had her Walkman lying about, and I was kind of bored, and I said, "All right, let's see what's on the Walkman." And it turns out to be moving pictures, and turned out to be where it was at was the beginning of side B of moving pictures.
Oh,
So as far as I know, the very first Rush song I ever heard was "The Camera Eye," and that is my number 10 selection. Um, it's not atypical Rush. It's got all the elements that make Rush songs great.
mm-hmm.
The very vivid lyrics, the fantastic musicianship, the interesting colors that go on. I mean, you don't expect acoustic guitar to be dropping in in the camera eye as it does, but it really warms up the tune and gives it some life. Um, yeah, I just think the camera eye is a fantastic tune, even without the sentimental attachment to it. I just love Neil's lyricism. Alex's guitar solos are great. The synth stuff is appropriate without getting overbearing. And yeah, I just really dig this tune. Burp and all, I really dig the tune.
Okay. Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'll give you a bit of my backstory with Rush. I obviously knew of Closer to the Heart, from Farewell to the Kings when I was a kid, but didn't really tune into exactly who they were as a band. And, you mentioned Moving Pictures and The Camera Eye. That album was all over the place. It just exploded.
Yep.
and it was in the zeitgeist of 1981 in terms of not only Canadian rock, but rock in general in the Western world, as it were. So, I mean,
And you
yeah,
you grew up in Toronto, right? Or the Toronto area?
correct, Toronto, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that was like, ground zero for Rush.
Oh
So,
yeah, oh yeah. And they were all over the place. They were um, ambassadors, unofficially, as it were, in terms of music in Canada, and they
yep.
wore that badge proudly, and it was wonderful. Um, but Yeah, I just a quick note. I really didn't start to pay close attention to Rush until moving pictures and
Hmm.
signals and moving on from there. But you know, didn't stop me from putting a really good list together, I think. So my number 10 is The Spirit of Radio from Permanent Waves. This was where the band they so I said on a previous episode, which I hope everybody will watch. Um, this was where Rush wanted to redefine what was prog music for them. They felt, and Geddy Lee had said this as far back as '79, that they had done all they could do with the side-long epics. The 20-minute sweeping epics, etc. So they wanted to redefine what prog music was for them. And with this album, they did. But with this song, The Spirit of Radio, they hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's just, for me, it has a killer intro, just a very quick intro, very sort of a catchy, it grabs your attention. And as I was saying to Bill doing another episode, for me, this song has got that sort of feeling where, you get up to start your day, you get in your car, you start your car, the radio comes on, and this song kicks in. And you sort of like backing out of the driveway and you're starting your day. And the minute you start to leave your street, that's when the song really kicks in and you're just starting your day. And the message behind it is basically be careful of what you have to compromise to achieve your goals in life, whether it be music or whether it be life in general or work in general. Uh, you know, with the lyric, glittering prizes and endless compromises shatter the illusion of integrity. You know what I mean? Like it's very in your face. Like you have to be careful of what you want or what you ask for because you're going to get it, but at what cost?
Yep.
Right. So that's my number 10, Spirit of Radio.
There we go.
Hmm.
How fortuitous. My number nine is actually Spirit of Radio. And yeah, talk about progressive Rush doing reggae.
Yeah, the
That's pretty
multi-section.
progressive.
Yeah,
Yeah. The head
multi-section.
fakes and the segues just from, the initial guitar overture into like that, you know, first movement of the dun 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 dun. I mean, you're right. The metaphor of getting in your car, backing out of the driveway and taking off down the street, they did an immaculate job of sort of putting that audio movie in your head.
Mhm.
And yeah, just the message about the seeming integrity of the radio and the music coming from them, forgetting that it is, after all, a business. Um, it's very easy to get just kind of lost in the joy of it. And music, we're just kind of two examples of how easy it is to get lost into music and just really, really enjoy it. And,
Yeah.
you know, the flip side of the dangers of commercialization with Spirit of Radio, the flip side message is just the joy of it. And we spent a lot of time talking about great music of the 70s and how basically radio was this genreless you know, playground of, 1 minute you'd hear Stevie Wonder, and the next minute you'd hear Bob Dylan, and the next minute you'd hear Peter Frampton and
Yeah.
Steely Dan and Fleetwood
Yeah.
Mac. I mean, it was just great for that kind of thing.
Endless, endless. Yeah.
Endless. So yeah, Spirit of Radio, might as well just call it, we match. But yeah, my number nine, fantastic start of not only Permanent Waves, but a start of the 80s for Rush. So there you go.
Exactly, exactly. And I think just quickly, I think they went into the 80s pretty much with a clean slate in terms of what they did in the 70s. They were turning the corner with this album, and you still have the lengthy, moody tracks. There's Entre Nous, there's Jacob's Ladder, but
Hmm.
um, yeah, this is a good slab and a good slice, sorry, of where they were going or where they wanted to go with the new decade. Good choice,
Yep.
good choice. My number nine, ladies and gentlemen, is Superconductor from Presto. Uh, yeah, I know. Some people hate this song. I happen to love the song. It's just a really good, and there's really no elaborate reason for it. I love the fact that, it's a really good fast-paced rocker and killer guitar. The album Presto, produced by Rupert Hine. And this was where Rush kind of exited out of their heavy keyboard phase throughout the 80s and went into more of a guitar driven direction. But I think it's just a really good fast-paced rocker and just really catchy. And
Hmm.
the video showing different people up on stage basically trying to sell themselves, what they can do, hawking their wares, as it were, if you remember the
Hmm.
video. Um, yeah, I think it's just a really good fast-paced rock track. I like it.
I made that face because I'm completely ignorant to it. I mean, when I said that my Rush selections are all kind of in that bell curve of their best well-known and well-loved albums, I wasn't kidding. So
Okay,
I know of Presto. I've probably listened to it once, but the song just has no connection to me
okay,
whatsoever. So
okay, okay. Check it out. There's a video on YouTube for him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's my number nine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. My number eight. Um, Rush wanted to turn the page and get away from the sidelong epics, you say, with Permanent Waves. Well, tell you what, um, they they might as well have, because in my book, of their sidelong epics, there is nothing that can touch my number eight choice, and that is Cygnus X1 Book 2 Hemispheres.
Hmm.
18 minutes of awesomeness of side A of that album, 18 minutes and some odd seconds, if memory serves right. No
32, yeah.
contest. Yeah, this is my favorite Rush epic. Not 2112, not Fountain of Lamneth. This is just far and away the greatest thing that they've done for me. And I think it is because of the fact that it's consistently great throughout. There's always these sections that kind of surprise and delight what happens musically. So you're never kind of bored. It's like, oh, I just heard that or whatever. There's always enough variety to sort of keep you glued in as a listener. Plus, you've got the fantastic callback to book one of Cygnus X1, which my having heard Hemispheres long before I ever heard A Farewell to Kings, I'm like, huh, that's this interesting stuff hiding out in the background of the song. What's that? And, when I finally heard Farewell to Kings, I'm like, oh, that's what that is. So that
Okay.
was that was very fun to kind of make that connection. But yeah, to me, this is it's not the most subtle of Neil Peart lyrics in terms of the points that he's making, but I think he did such a fantastic job of putting that forward, of the combination of wisdom and love, and how they need to kind of merge together, and from the two operating dependently, that's how you can move towards you know, that single perfect sphere moment of just walking with compassion and walking with intelligence.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I just I love this song for so many reasons. But I love seven of them more, as it turns out. But yeah, Hemispheres to me, all 18 plus minutes of it. You start putting that on, I don't think I could ever turn it off. I have to listen to it all the way through. It's just
Hmm.
so wonderfully done.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a good choice. It's a good choice. I have to go back and re-listen to that whole album again. I've have all the Rush albums again. Thank you, Columbia House. Um, but yeah, I really gotta go back and sit down and listen to it from start to finish.
It's
Um,
it's yeah, highly recommended, my friend. In your
good choice.
copious free time.
Yes, yes, yes. Help me, Lord. Good choice. My number eight, Nobody's Hero
Hmm.
from Counterparts. From 1993. Just a wonderful, heartfelt, emotional track. The lyrics really hit home, and as Bill Schuster, who said on another episode, they were tackling subjects in their lyrics that really at the time nobody did. The
Hmm.
topic of AIDS,
Yeah.
with the lyric, he only introduced me to a wider reality, even domestic abuse, possible domestic abuse. I didn't know the girl, but I knew her family. All the lives are shattered in a nightmare of brutality. I mean, it's like, what am I hearing here?
Hmm.
Wonderful uh, acoustic and electric guitar, wonderful string arrangements on this track, an emotional vocal delivery from Geddy Lee, wonderful production by Peter Collins on this track and the rest of Counterparts. But yeah, and as someone who has lost their sister to domestic violence, it really hit home. It really
Hmm.
did. So yeah, it's just a wonderfully arranged piece of music, tastefully done,
Yes.
tastefully done. That's
So I know of this
that's my
song
number
just
eight.
from
Yeah.
hearing some of the live versions of it. Were they always done sort of without drums live? Were they always kind of quiet, a more quiet acoustic performance?
It depended on the tour, I would imagine. I really don't know. I've only seen Rush once live in concert. I've seen many shows of theirs on video, obviously, but I do believe I don't quote me on this, but I do believe they depended on the tour
Okay, all right.
and the mood they were going for with the set.
Hmm.
I could see this done even with a full orchestra, you know, uh,
Sure.
with the strings that come in and stuff on the end section. But yeah, I'm not sure. Sorry about. So I wish I could answer the question more succinctly for you, but just a great track. Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
You're number
Uh,
seven.
Number seven. You all know this one, but you may not know this version. And if you don't know this version, you better get off your backsides and become one with it.
He means asses. Go on.
This is true. I am talking about YYZ, and I am talking about the version that's on Rush in Rio, specifically the
Ooh,
video.
okay. I haven't seen that
Now,
in years, but go ahead.
I I mean, I love the studio version of YYZ, which comes from Moving Pictures, so there's no shade on that. However, the live version, where you have somewhere between 60 to 70,000 Brazilians basically doing the pogo and singing along to the main melody, is
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
staggers belief that you could get a crowd that deeply connected to an instrumental. I mean, there's nothing to sing along with until they sort of decided to pick out the part to sing along with, and boy, are they doing it. Um, those Brazilians, man, and you can see it on their faces of
Yeah.
Alex and Getty when, I mean, you can't see it on Neil because Neil's just the professor and he's doing
Coming
his
over.
Neil
Yeah.
thing.
Doing this
But
thing. Yeah.
Alex and Getty are both looking at each other like, what the hell, man?
Yeah,
Just
like
these big
can you
grins.
believe this? Yeah, I haven't I have the video of the concert. I haven't seen it in years, but yeah, yeah, they were saying they could not believe that the audience reacted that way and what they were doing with them. And it's like, again, no, it's an instrumental, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah,
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 they made it a sing along, and boy howdy, I just love that version, and the performances are great too. I mean, clearly Neil's on his game, Alex is on his game, Getty is just doing what Getty does seemingly effortlessly, and
yeah.
it's just the first time I saw it, I had to stop and rewind it and play it again, and then I think I ended up playing it like 4 times in a row, just because it's electric. Such an amazing performance. So,
Yeah.
yeah, my number seven is the Russian Rio version of YYZ.
Very good. Very good. My number seven is Distant Early Warning from Grace Under Pressure. Starts off the album. Um, Grace Under Pressure being recorded at Le Studio in Morin Heights in Quebec. The studio is no longer there. It's shut down, unfortunately.
Mm,
A piece of Canadian recording history, believe me. Um, I've always loved this track. I've always loved Gedgy's bass work on this track.
hmm.
Even the way the keyboard intro, that sort of sweeping intro, and then the crashing guitar chords come in, and just even how he does those keyboard stabs going into the verses and then going into the choruses. It's very dramatic, very epic in
Yep.
spots, and the guitar solo, mic drop, mic drop for me. It was just like, holy shit. I'm
Yeah.
watching, I'm hearing this, and I'm like, he is shredding on that guitar. If Alex Lifeson never shredded, but I mean, he is just, the guitars are prominent in the mix on the whole album, but
Hmm.
especially on this track. And this album, Grace Under Pressure, was where Alex Lifeson, and I've said this before, how he felt that they kind of lost the plot a little bit on signals, with the keyboards taking more of a front seat and the guitar taking a back seat. Well, the guitars are up front in the mix, baby. They're right there. And
Yeah.
it's a very uh it's a very catchy song, very melodic, but also heavy. And it's just a good mix of rock and pop, you know, more rock than pop, but
Hmm.
really just a wonderfully arranged track. And it was a good way to start off the album, you
Hmm.
know, uh, with production provided by Peter Henderson. They moved away. They parted ways with Terry Brown in '83. They just quickly, ladies and gentlemen, they met up with him in Miami and decided and told him that they were going to go in a different direction. They wanted more of a keyboard sound in terms of the music that they were creating. And although Neil Peart said it was a rough parting, it was still amicable. So there you go.
Well, I guess
And
it.
sorry, go ahead.
Well,
And
yeah, you're the host.
the
You go.
sorry, I was just gonna say the new there's a new mix done by Terry Brown of Grace Under Pressure on the box set that's coming out. So sorry, my apologies.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say, and
Oh, sorry.
I didn't know if that was the original mix that he did that they shelved and they went back and had Henderson do it, or if it's just him doing it fresh.
I think this is him doing it fresh. No,
Okay.
they parted ways with him in '83. They were on tour for Signals, and they met up with him in Miami and had a meeting with him and said, "We want to go in this direction. We want to try something different. No hard feelings. We love you. You guided our career basically, but we want to move on." And
Yep.
yeah, yeah. So sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Not what was important was the fact got out there. And even then
Yes.
we may have gotten the facts wrong, but there we go. It's out there.
There you go. There you go. All right. You're number six.
My number six. Okay, people, let the hate flow through you. My number six is Tom Sawyer. Um,
Ooh, okay.
I mean, what can you say about Tom Sawyer that hasn't been said umpteen gajillion times?
Yeah.
The obviously the lyrical content is pretty much peerless Neil Peart work. The thing that I love about this song and the thing that strikes me about it is the effortless shifts in time signature throughout this track. I mean, you're never, they're shifting from, 8 to 6 to 7, and at never at any point does something feel like it flows unnaturally. It just is this effortless dream state of music all the way through. And even though it gets, even though things in different time signatures can get jarring, Rush doesn't, they don't play that game.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's fundamentally because of Neil's efforts behind the kit, or if that's
Hmm.
Geddy's work on the bass and how and where he's,
Yeah.
emphasizing the one. But I tell you what, Tom Sawyer is just a textbook of any example of, yes, you can play in multiple time signatures in a single song, and you will not lose your audience provided you do it well. And
Yeah.
Tom Sawyer is, it's the chef's kiss of that. It's just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, the video that again that was shot at the studio for the song, and them recording it in different stages, the guitar solo, the drumming, the drum track. You could just tell that Neil Peart, his drumming was just right on in the pocket. Like boom, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And it was, yeah, chef's kiss.
And the funny thing is, let's
Amazing.
kind of talk about this for a minute. And I don't know if this was brought up in the video that you and Bill did, but Neil, even though I'm sorry, I forget the phrase that you just used. I think by his own admission,
In
Neil
the
Peart
pocket.
was, yeah, in the pocket. In the pocket is a very weird kind of term to use with that period of Neil Peart because he played like, I think by his own admission, he played like a clod. You know,
Yeah,
he obviously had the feel for time, but it's only when he started taking lessons from Freddie Gruber that
yeah,
he really kind of understood swing and could
yeah, yeah,
really make things happen with less bombast and
yeah.
effort, but
A-
still just groove like hell.
And it's interesting that you say this because I watched an interview that Steve Negus of Saga,
Hmm.
and he had said that, Neil Peart was a fantastic player, but he played with such intensity and force.
Hmm.
And if you saw him drumming, he used his whole arm, like it was just wham, wham. And he used to, I think he said he used to tell Neil like to relax a little bit, like go from the wrist, not from the whole
Yeah.
arm, not go, just go from the wrist. But he just he went for it all, and it in the end, like in the later tours, it did hurt him because he was dealing with, pains in his shoulders, and
Yeah.
it took a toll on him near the final tours, during the final tours of the band. So yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's true. And he was a fan too of Buddy Rich, I believe it was.
Oh yes, the two Burnin' for Buddy albums,
Yeah,
are,
yeah,
that's his love letter to frickin' Buddy Rich. And
yeah.
if there are people who worship on the altar of Neil Peart and haven't heard Buddy Rich, then oh
You need to.
God, you
You
need
need
to.
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is unfrickin' believable, unreal.
Yep.
That's a good one. That's a good one. My number six is start the hate mail. La Villa Stringiano.
Hang on.
Okay,
You dear ignorant slut.
there we go. There we go. I've been called worse
Well, that's between
by
you
a
and God.
by a
Anyway.
few, by the way. God loves me. Okay, let's go with La Villa Stringiano ends
Yes.
off side two of Hemispheres. Just a wonderful, sprawling 9 minute and 38-second piece of music that is just wonderful, separated into 12 sections. uh, multi like again multi-sectional, but in terms of just done so seemingly effortlessly, but it wasn't.
Right.
It
Right.
they attempted to record this piece in one go, and it took three. They had to record it in three different sections and then piece it together. And again, this
Thankfully,
is
they could finally figure out how to do it live
yeah,
and pull it off well. So,
yeah. And again, this is another song where the way it starts off with the acoustic guitar on the beginning, and again where you start your day off, right? And you hear
hmm
sort of like the hi-hats coming in, and then you hear like the mini moog that they're playing with, the little synth section that comes in. Very uplifting, very bright, very hopeful for the day, right? You start your
Yep.
day, and to me, it's the experiences that someone goes through a day in their life. You go to work, you do your thing, you have some drama going on, you have this, you have that. You go for lunch, then you come back, more drama. So it's got
Yeah,
those
as it turns out,
those peaks and valleys. Or like me, you go for a workout, you get your partner, your workout partner to push you to
you're
the
worked.
edge.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, to push you to the
So
edge.
so
Thank
far
you,
you've mentioned
Ryan.
drama, you've mentioned being, pushed close to the edge.
Yes,
What are you going to drop next?
I'm
You
an
have a
owner
bacon,
of a lonely
lettuce,
heart.
and tomato sandwich.
Yeah,
What are you going to do?
I'm an
Yeah.
owner of a lonely heart. How's that?
Are you now?
There
Okay.
you go. But no, it's just a really wonderfully crafted piece of music. And the first time I heard this was on the Chronicles double CD collection
Oh,
from 1990. And
dude.
it was, dude, I know I was sheltered, and I believe it if you want. Okay. But that was the first time I heard it. And from that Chronicles CD, I went and I bought all of the Rush CDs. Like I just went ballistic. Thank you again, Columbia House. And this song to me, it is a masterstroke of genius musically, a masterclass in how to construct and arrange a very intricate, a very entertaining, and very frenetic at times instrumental. Just a lot of emotions going on. You
hmm
know, there's even sections where I called it where I on this piece where I call them the stripper sections. In that very down and dirty
I know
rhythm
what you're talking
guitar,
about.
dun 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 dun, dun, like that. It's
Well,
like
you know what that's from, don't you?
I it was familiar to me when I heard it as when I was listening to it. I'm not
hmm
sure. I couldn't picture where it was actually from like that.
Spoiler alert, I'll tell you when this tune comes up on my list.
Okay. All right. But again, I just think that this is a wonderful piece of music. It's adventurous, it's frenetic, it's energetic, it's down and dirty. It's all of that in a bag of chips,
Absolutely.
you know. And a little footnote, the original version is 9 minutes and 38 seconds. There is a 10-minute, 30-second version of this track done live.
You thinking about R30?
No, it was done in 1978. I think it was
Oh,
recorded in England, and they did it live off the floor because Alex Lifeson is not using a nylon string acoustic guitar. He's using an electric guitar for the intro. So it was
yep.
all done on stage for a special video for it. Look it up, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. Let us know what you think of that song in the comments below, that version of it, because it is amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah, well, I'll just throw this out there about the live version. My favorite versions of La Via Strangiato live come from the R30 tour. If I'm remembering it correctly, that's the version where they would just kind of drop out and Getty would just do this walking bass line, and then Neil would just be kind of doing the swinging drum part in the back, and Alex would go up to the mic and just wing it. He would just would completely improvise. He'd either tell jokes, he'd
Yeah.
tell
I
stories,
remember
he'd
that.
just do
That's
some
right.
he'd just
That's
do some
right.
weird vocalizations like he was Louis Armstrong on acid. I mean, it was just hysterical what they would do with it every night. And people give Rush a lot of crap for not being an improvising band. Well, here's a part where the show was definitely unscripted, and how they would get back into the main Strangiato theme every night was kind of the tightrope that they would walk.
You reminded me of the R30 because I have a box set, a collection of Russian concert from 74 to uh, '09, like literally
Okay.
behind me. Um, and it's the R40, and the R30 set is included
Okay. Nice.
in this. So yeah, I gotta go watch that now. Damn it! I mean, it's yeah. You reminded me
Happy
of
to
that.
help.
It. Well, thank you, thank you. Bob may not like it, but yeah. But
Well,
there's
that's
no
poor
hockey
Bob.
for 3 weeks. Forget it. We can fill the time with that. But yeah, no. I again, La Villa Strangiato. Just in closing, I am closing off. Um, I just think it's just a wonderful. It's subtitled "An Exercise in Self-Indulgence."
Self-indulgence. Yep.
Thank you for
Yep.
that, because we
Thank you,
needed that.
boys.
Thank you. We needed that, and
Darn
God
right.
love you for it. Moving on, you're number five.
My number five, geez, it's hard to follow that up, but yet follow up I shall.
Hmm.
Um, we are going to the Signals album on this one,
Yes.
and we are going to, well, the neat thing about the Signals album to me is that it kind of starts off with this one-two punch of different sides of the experience of suburban male youth.
Ooh, go on.
And uh, we'll talk about track one later, but I am talking about track two at this point. I'm talking about the Analog Kid.
Okay.
And to me, I just have loved this song from the first time I heard it. Just the, rockin' up tempo parts till, the halftime dropout and the choruses. Um, Nothing. There are very few songs that so accurately depicts the vivid imaginings of young men thinking about young women, but yet to do it, as Neil was wont to do, tastefully, utterly tastefully.
Yes.
And I mean, come on, the fawn-eyed girl with sun-brown legs dances on the edge of his dream.
Okay.
I
Case closed. Game over.
done.
Mic drop.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I just love that, you've got the analog kid who is dealing with, the stuff of dreams and, youthful, well, not indiscretions, but just youthful flights of fancy. And then, the album kind of further devolves into the digital man, which is sadly what the analog kid has to grow up to be. Um, I'm not to make this whole discussion about the Signals album, but I just love the fact that that theme carried forward,
Yeah, it
lyrically
permeates. Yeah.
into the record. But yeah, Analog Kid. I don't know if this is considered a deep cut, but it is
Somewhat.
my second favorite Rush deep cut. My first favorite is number four, but y'all just gotta wait. So hurry up, Armando. Don't make him wait long. Come on.
Oh,
Come
anticipation.
on.
All right.
Thanks, Tim.
There you go. Um, I don't have the
The
hair,
outfit.
the hair
Maybe
or
you
the
do have the outfit, you just don't have it on. I
or
don't
the
know.
penicillin to get through that. Okay.
Well,
Okay. Just the sheer energy or the sheer will to put that on. I couldn't do it. Um,
so far we've name dropped Yes albums, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Oh, where shall we go next?
okay, we are going to for number five. For my number five, we are going to 1987 with Hold Your Fire. I know people hold your hate mail. Hold on. We are going with my number five, Time Stands Still, featuring a duet with Amy Mann. You know
Yep.
what? I love this song. I loved it when it came out. I was 17 years old, and the sentiment hit me then
Yep.
about time moving on. And at 17, that's pretty fucking heavy. It is. I'm
Yes, it
sorry.
is.
It is. And I just think that, people give Rush a lot of crap for this album. And in terms of the three keyboard oriented albums, this album gets a lot of shade and a lot of shit. I
Hmm.
just think that this song, as a good pop or a good rock oriented track with a good slice of pop in it,
Hmm.
in terms of the arrangement, I think it's just a damn classic. I think that having Amy Mann do the vocals on the choruses and being with him in the video just adds, it was a nice touch.
Yep.
It was a nice touch. And the lyrical content, on the verses, I'm not looking back, but I want to look around me now. Some more of the people and the places that surround me now. It's like, whoa, this is someone who is just looking back, not so much looking back, but stopping what they're doing and just
Hmm.
like mentally and emotionally just taking stock of their life at this point in time and knowing that things are changing for them
Hmm.
on some level. You
Yep.
know, summer's going fast, nights getting colder, growing colder, old friends growing older, it's just, it's hard for anybody to, but when you're 17 and you realize at that age what this song is about, that it affects you, and I'm
Yeah.
55 and it still affects me, you know. Between the two of us, I'm the baby, but that's another issue. Um,
You wee
um,
bairn.
I know, but that's my number five. Time stands still. I think that you know Amy Mann does a good job on this track. I think it's a wonderful melodic piece of writing, and I don't think they sold out. I think that this is just them exploring this side of what they wanted to do musically, and it's wonderfully done. So it's my number five. Time stands still.
Great choice. I wonder, had you ever heard anything or read anything about different vocalists they may have considered other than Amy Mann? I'm asking out of ignorance.
No,
I
I
don't
never
know.
really. No, and I didn't realize, Amy Mann of Till Tuesday at that point. Never really realized that, that they were going to do that. But I think it was just a wonderful addition, just
Hmm.
another flavor to
Well,
what they were
it's
doing.
more color to the Rush palette to show they're not limited to just, the standard fanboy ghetto of what they thought it would be between guitar, bass, and drums. Now we'll add
Yeah,
keyboards. Now here's some acoustic guitar. Now, hey, it's a female voice. What?
yeah, on a
Okay.
Rush track, like how dare they?
How can this
Um,
be? How
you
dare you
know,
interrupt the old boys club?
exactly. And as they say, the
Huh.
innocence slips away, in terms of
Mm.
moving on. Yeah, my number
Shall we?
five.
Shall we move on?
Shall we? We shall.
Let's shall. Number four, correct?
Yes, number four.
I was losing track here. Uh,
You shit. Go ahead.
no, no, no. I was losing track. I
I
because I was
know.
engrossed in the conversation.
Good save. Go ahead.
It's a Come on, man. It's a true save. I'll give you when it's time for me to give you shit. Trust me, you'll know it. My number
Yes.
four is something to actually get lost in.
Okay.
Okay, and I can get lost in this song so easily.
Yeah,
Um, may I?
please.
Thank you. This is the final cut off Permanent Waves, and this is Natural Science
Okay.
because it's freaking awesome. It is my favorite Rush deep cut. Um, the three sections in this, this is a whole is greater than the sum of its parts song for me.
Yeah.
Each of the three sections are very, very strong on their own. The acoustic introduction, I think it's a 12 string. Um, then the electric gets introduced and the bass and the drums and then the keyboard pattern and then you get into the da 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 da. I mean, It's this whole thing is just one big journey from the microcosmic to the macrocosmic. And again, the fact that Rush can sort of pull this off in 9 minutes is just um, astounding to me. It's lyrically the lyric complexity and the musical complexity complement each other very, very well. I love the fact that you have the theme, the wheels within wheels refrain kind of being the bridge between one and two, and also two and three. Um, and then you've got this whole kind of maybe it's almost like a four-part song where you've got this sort of
Yeah.
concluding denouement, if you will, if my French is correct, that just sort of, encapsulates the whole thing. Wave after wave will flow with the tide. That whole section. Um, I just I'm getting all excited. I'm hearing the song in my head right
Yeah.
now, and I'm just
Yeah.
really, really jazzed about it.
I can
Natural
tell.
science number four with a frickin' bullet. Again, hard to believe that there's three other songs that I like better than natural science, but as I have considered this list over many, many minutes, this is what I'm going with right now.
Okay. Good choice.
Thank you.
My number four is a track that you already mentioned, YYZ or Z. Um,
I was trying to tip my hat to my Canadian friends.
yeah, Bill threatened to turn me into the Canadian government because I didn't say YYZ or I said Z at the yesterday. So it's like, turn me in, Bill. Go ahead, try.
There you go.
Anyways,
Come
uh,
after me, Justin. Come
come on.
after me.
No, he's too busy with Katy Perry.
Well,
It's
someone's
Daniel.
got to be.
It's Danielle Smith. Right now, and I don't want her coming after me. It's not a good thing. Anyways,
Where's this conversation going?
okay. Why is
Why am I
that?
here for it?
Why is he moving pictures? Oh my God, just a um, a wonderfully crafted instrumental. You know, based on the airport code for the Pearson International Toronto Airport in Toronto, I would say. And just the intro that you hear, that is the code for the airport. And it just kicks into this wonderfully guitar laden piece of wonder, just beautifully done. Funky is on get out. I mean, in spots, heavy guitar with a wonderful breakdown section with, like lush and textured keyboards. And then it kicks right back into the main guitar riff, the main part of the song. And it
Yep.
just, I mean, I've said this before. I mean, there have been people, Luther Vandross would say, when Whitney Houston would take a solo, the chandelier fell. Well, when Alex Lifeson takes a solo on this track, the chandelier falls. It's like he just takes over this piece like you would not believe,
Hmm.
and it's just he is the maestro.
Literally, the chandelier is falling.
Exactly. It's like old Phantom of the Opera. No, literally, it's like everyone duck kind of thing. He is
Yeah.
just the maestro on the guitar with this piece.
And since you mentioned it, I'll throw this out there. You can't not give some love to Getty to the one bar solos that Getty and Neil throw in there.
Yeah,
They're just like, what?
yeah, yeah. And I mean, Getty's bass playing on this, and the Neil on drums. It's like, okay, all right, I'm gone to bed. I've seen everything. I'm done.
Yep.
And like, you know
Yep.
what? There's not. What else is there to do? What else is there to see? There's, there's over here. There's live versions. On exit stage left. There's live. When they do this, and
Right. Live in Rio.
live in Rio. And I really don't think that this piece has ever left their tour their sets in terms of their tours.
I don't think so. I mean, even the Grace Under Pressure tour, which was the only one that I saw, they played a portion of this.
Yeah,
They played a portion of YYZ, not the whole thing. If I recall correctly, it was the first half of YYZ with like part of the preachers, the priests of Syrinx, and then into Tom Sawyer, if I
Yeah,
recall
yeah.
correctly. So,
But this piece, this track itself, it's just wonderfully constructed, and it sounds like they're having fun doing it. I
yep,
mean, they're okay, we gotta get this down, we gotta get this right, get the arrangement, lock it in. But you know what? It just sounds like they were just having a good time in the studio, and let's see what we can come up with. And they
yep.
knocked it out of the park,
Yeah. Some of my
right?
favorite music reaction videos, which I've been watching for, about 10 years now, are people listening to YYZ
Yeah,
from the first time.
yeah,
And just the faces of these guys, who are like not not knowing what to expect. It's like, okay, I've heard of Rush. Let's see what these guys can deliver. And they're like shocked
yeah.
by what they're
And
throwing down.
and what I'm hearing just quickly when it goes into that breakdown section, what I'm hearing, what Alex may be doing on the guitar is doing the tapping on the fret, just sort of like as it spirals down into the breakdown
Oh,
section with the keyboards.
yeah.
Yeah. I kind of hear maybe he's doing a bit of tapping on the fret just to sort of break it down, bring it down into that section. You know, all all due respect goes to Eddie Van Halen, but Alex Lifeson, I think he's an underrated guitar player. I think he needs more props, more respect. If I could, if I could light a lighter right now, I would. The police set the house on fire, but I don't care. I mean, if I could do it, I would. I
You
just
only live
think,
once, Armando. Go ahead. Light it
well,
up.
for Shirley MacLaine, you live more than once, but I mean, that's another issue. Um, I just, again, in closing, I think it's just a wonderful piece of instrumental music that has its place in the annals of rock. I think it should be up there on some type of a list. I know Rush is on lists all over the world, right? But I think this song should be given a special mention. So,
Hmm.
and there you go, our list.
A
Your
wonderful
next,
piece of a wonderful piece of instrumental rock, you say.
yes,
Okay. Well, I beg to differ with you, good sir. Because
go
my
on,
number three
go on.
is a wonderful piece of instrumental rock and happens to be what you picked, I think, if memory serves right, for our top 10 instrumentals episode. This is Livia Strangiato. That is my number three Rush track.
Perfect.
So, first of all, yes. I mean, what other tune in rock, metal, prog, or otherwise do you get a Spanish flamenco introduction all through to someone quoting Raymond Scott's Powerhouse, which is the bum 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 bum.
Okay, okay, all
And that
right.
and those were used in Looney Tunes cartoons, my brother. That's
And
where those were from.
and you know where I heard that also? A little snippet of that section in Aladdin, the movie,
Oh yes.
the cartoon.
One foot ahead of the. Yeah, that's in when he's running through the marketplace. Yes. They definitely lifted that from Raymond Scott. So
I knew it
yeah,
was from, yeah.
there we go. So
Thank you.
what else can we say about this? Boy, have we covered a lot of ground in this episode just talking about Rush. I love the bass solo on this album, on this
Rickenbacker
track,
galore.
the
Rickenbacker
Rickenbacker.
galore. Ooh.
Again, there's a music reaction channel where they're listening to this for the first time, and the guy just hears the bass solo, and he just takes a stack of papers and is just like, it's like, what the hell do you say about that?
Hmm.
Getty's just flying all over the place. Is it prog? Is it metal? Is it funk? I mean, I don't even know that you can ascribe a
Yes.
particular genre. Yes, the answer is it's all three and a bag of chips. It's just absolutely astounding. Frickin' Getty Lee, you bass monster, you. Yeah, I just out of nowhere, I'm just gonna throw down a couple of bars of just face shredding funk.
Yeah,
because I can on a
yeah,
Rickenbacker.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, it's like, oh, please, please, we're done.
pretty much we're done. Yeah, so at the risk of just overstaying our welcome, La Via Strangiato, number three, the final cut from Hemispheres, the final cut of Rush from the 70s is La Via Strangiato.
Yes, yes. Amazing choice. Amazing
Well,
choice.
thank you, my good sir.
You're very welcome, my good sir. My number three is Xanadu.
You don't say.
Yes, as much as I love the Olivia Newton-John version, no, that's not the one. Uh,
You
from
just love
Phil,
the skates.
always. Um, and, from a farewell to Kings. I can never say that properly. Farewell to Kings. There's only tea in my cup. Track two, side one, 11 minutes and 12 seconds. Multi-section piece. Wonderful escapism. Just, dining on honeydew melon, all that. Like, you're just, when you, the sweeping synths that come in, just that whole track is just an exercise and just losing yourself
Hmm.
in another world. You're just sort
Yep.
of drawn in, just and then when he goes into, like when he yells out Xanadu and just how his vocals sort of carries, it sort of gains more and more. How can I explain this? The vocal just is so soaring, whether
Hmm.
it's through your trickery or not. His vocal on that last note of Xanadu, it's just so soaring and majestic. And the sweeping keyboards that come in that follow, it takes you on a freaking journey.
Yes, it do.
Yes, it do. It's Xanadu.
Samuel
But
Coleridge.
there you go. There you go. I love this piece. I've always loved it. When I started getting into Rush heavily from Farewell to Kings, that track always stood out to me. You know,
Sure.
there's Cinderella Man, there's Madrigal, there's Closer to the Heart, there's Cygnus Book One, but Xanadu, and it starts off with a 1-2 punch, the title track and Xanadu. So it's like the first two tracks you're like, whoa, what is this?
They
But
ain't messing around.
exactly, but this is the track on the album that really sort of grabs me by the throat and just pulls me in, kind of through. I'm not gonna say it.
Well, okay. Allow me to say it then.
Guidelines. Go on.
There we go. My number two is Xanadu, and I was
Okay.
not grabbed by the throat. I was grabbed by another part of the anatomy because the first version I heard was the version from Exit Stage Left, which
Ooh,
comes right after the, solo guitar piece and the trees segueing directly into frickin' Xanadu.
this is
Um,
fun. This is fun. Go on.
this is fun. So aside from hearing moving pictures, I was a Rush noob when I
Mm,
heard Exit Stage Left, and I got all kinds of earfuls of Exit Stage Left in high school, driving back with my buddy from high school back to home, and dang, we would just put on the first part of side B of the cassette, side three of the album, and just our brains would just frickin' open
melt.
up and
Mm.
just like what in the heck is going on. Later
Yes.
in that summer or summer subsequent to that, I rented the VHS of the Exit Stage Left video and saw them actually playing this MFer live, with their dueling double neck guitars. Obviously Alex having a 12 string and a 6 string, and Getty, I did it again. Getty having a 6 string bass and a 6 string guitar on his double necks.
Vodka.
Ever clear? No.
I got you.
Um, just water, people. But yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely astounding. Xanadu, my number two. Um, again, specifically the exit stage left version, just because of how freaking awesome it is. The hugeness of this awesomeness cannot be understated, and I honestly don't know anyone who has heard Xanadu from exit stage left and just gone like, what a complete waste of time. I think everyone has just been like, oh my God, what was that? And I can't wait to hear that again.
Exactly. Exactly.
Frickin' Xanadu. And yeah, sorry, gives Olivia and well, I guess it'd be appropriate to say that Olivia and Jeff Lynne were trying to eclipse what Getty and the boys did, or Betty and the boys, as I've been calling them.
Exactly.
Um, but no, they can't. Never. Not gonna happen.
I get it. I get it. And by the way, I do like Olivia and John's version, her version of Xanadu, her song. I do. I actually
Which is
do.
not a cover. It's not a cover, but
No, no, it's her song.
yeah.
It's Jeff Lynne and ELO.
But just think
Uh,
about the possibilities of Olivia, rest in peace, singing, standing within the pleasure dome
yeah,
decreed by Kubla Khan. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. And
that's
we're not talking Frankie Goes to Hollywood either, but we're talking about, Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. But I get what you're saying.
different pleasure dome. Yes.
Exactly. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm just trying to say I like pop, rock, all that kind of stuff. So it's okay.
You do.
Uh,
You have a broad palette, except when it
yeah.
comes to Black MIDI, but that's another story.
Now, why did you do that? Yeah.
Because I'm me and you're you, and I know how to push your buttons.
Okay, push this. Okay, moving on. Okay, we're gonna my number two.
Number two.
Flash. Okay, no. My number two is 2112 Overture and Temple of Syrinx. Uh,
Okay.
it's yeah. Um, I Bill had said that parts of side one for him go a bit slow.
Hmm.
It gets a bit mired, like bogged down kind of thing, with the
The
idea,
soliloquy part and
yeah,
whatnot.
the soliloquy and all that. And I do have to go back and listen to the whole side over again. But this is just an awesome track.
It's a great
The
1-2 punch.
Yeah, the holy, like the soaring keyboards, the tape looping that they had to do in the studio to get this down and get this done, like to give you like a sort of like a, kind of like an outer space kind of feel that you're traveling into another dimension, and then
Hmm.
how the guitars kick in on the left and the right channel, and then the band come in proper with that just that intro with the keyboards, and then they just launch into the track. They just go crazy, like full steam ahead. And I've said this before, the music journalism show that used to be on a city TV here in Toronto, in Toronto, I'm in Edmonton. The new music featured that segue, that intro to the overture as their theme music from like 79 to 82.
Very appropriate.
So, yeah, and they wouldn't go into the Temple of Syrinx, but
Hmm.
it's kind of interesting how in the studio they had to do it through tape loops and all that to get it down recorded on tape for the album. But in concert, all Getty has to do is hit a key on the keyboard and okay, press the red one with the red dot, the one with the red dot, boom,
Or it's a
and
foot trigger, one of the
or a
two.
foot trigger, and the place just explodes. I'm
Yep.
this is just like it's funky electric guitar. It's funky acoustic guitar, if even possible. And it's just done wonderfully. And if you want to see them do it live, 1976, there's a video of them doing an opening slot at the Capitol Theater in New Jersey in black and white in 76. Check it out. They do
There you
it
go.
perfectly, amazingly. But that's my number two, Overture and Tumble of Syrinx. And just a little footnote here. The fact that they were on the verge of being dropped by Mercury Records after the failure of Caress Steel, which I think is a wonderful album. The fact that they said, okay, you know what? If we're going to go out, let's go out on our terms.
Our
Let's
terms.
go
Yep.
out with a little class. If our backs and our balls are to the wall, let's just go out and just do this our way. And they did it. And they did it. And luckily, it turned out well for them. It was the start, but they did it. They did what they wanted to do as a band, and they never compromised. That's the one thing you can always say about Rush.
Yep.
Always. And I will say that to my dying day. You know. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's my number two.
I will throw out this comment about you are familiar with the channel Drumeo, right?
Yeah.
The YouTube channel. And how they've often, put drummers literally in the hot seat to say, okay, here's a track without the drums and you have to learn it. Well, they also have these other segments where it's just like, okay, hotshot, we want you to learn this part and play it. And they gave Nick Collins, Phil's very, very, very talented son,
I saw it.
the challenge of learning the entirety of 2112. And he's just like, shaking his head and like cursing Neil Peart every 3 seconds because Peart's just so creative and astounding and amazing.
And he's listening to the track and he says, I need a pen and paper because he has to transcribe what he's hearing. And it's like,
Yep.
ooh. But he does it.
I know. Nick is the real deal, man. He is
He
an incredibly talented drummer.
he delivers. And it's like, I'm watching it going, oh my God. Couldn't
Yeah.
believe what I was saying. But yeah, yeah,
Either it proves that Neil Peart was human or Nick Collins is as equally inhuman as Neil was.
yeah, yeah.
Either
But I was
way.
like, okay, all right. Yeah, that was a mic drop moment
Yeah, it's a
for,
fantastic video. It's
yeah,
absolutely, yeah, Nick Collins doing 2112.
yeah.
It's great.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh, I'm glad you're
Uh,
familiar with it.
no, yeah, I saw it, and I was actually telling Bill about that when we did our video. I was like, "Oh, you got to see that he did this," and he's like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" So he's like, "Okay, give me a pen and paper. I got to write this shit down in order to like, learn it proper." And he
Exactly.
does. He
He
does, ladies and
does.
gentlemen.
He's a professional.
Like I tip my hat to you. Although my featuring my bald head underneath, but I tip my hat to you.
There you go.
So you're number one.
Oh, are we not finished? I thought we were all done. Yeah, my number one. Anytime I'm doing a Rush video, I'm, always deeply, it's deeply cemented in my schemata what my number one is going to be.
Mhm.
And that has to be Lakeside Park. No, just kidding. Not Lakeside Park. It is Subdivisions. It is the first track off Signals. It is as awesome as
Yeah.
Xanadu, Strangiato, Natural Science, Analog Kid, all these other songs are. You
Yeah.
know, I left off Limelight. I left off Free Will. I left off Red Barchetta. I gave
Mhm.
a mention to the Trees, but the Trees is not on my list. No, number one goes to Subdivisions because it is perfect lyrically, musically. It is of the moment, but it is still timeless. You can listen to it today. And even though you hear 80s keyboards, it's not mired in that shrill 80s keyboard sound. The themes on it are as universal today for young men and women as they were back in 81 or 82 when this was written. Um,
Yeah.
I just think it's the height of Neil's lyrical powers at being concise and getting a point across. I mean, clearly there are things like Hemispheres, which are more flowery, Spirit of Radio, which is more fun, Natural Science, which is more cosmic, but there's just something about the way he touched into teen angst and drama in Subdivisions
Yeah.
that to me is just absolutely peerless. I mean, lyrically, Peter Gabriel went into this territory with Not One of Us a little bit, but nowhere near as perfectly as Neil did. And the way Betty and Alex, composed the music around this. Yeah, I did that
Yeah.
on purpose.
I know you did. I know you did.
It's yeah, it frickin' number one with a bullet. Subdivisions, baby.
Yeah,
Boom.
that's my number one as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And guys, we
Dude,
didn't we didn't talk about, yes, virtual high five.
virtual
We
high
did
five.
we did not talk about our list prior to taping. It is my number one. I'm that character
Are you now?
in that video. I'm that character in the song, and I'm at my age, I still feel like that. I still
Mm,
feel like that. The outcast, conform or be cast out, it's just, yeah, a a perfect slice of melodic rock. You know what I mean? It's not, yeah,
perfect.
another chef's kiss. It's like, what else can be said? The keyboards are
Yeah.
there, and you can just imagine when he's doing, um, when Getty, not Betty,
Getty.
but Getty is doing his keyboard passages, you can just imagine him, manipulating the pitch wheel as he's, doing the run
Yeah, in the solo.
on the solos and stuff. And when Alex comes in with that short but powerful solo,
Oh, yeah. Note
and then when he
perfect.
comes in on the chorus, like subdivisions, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, it says everything that needs to be said in a 4 minute plus rock song. It has arranging, a perfect arrangement, a
Hmm.
wonderful production on that. Terry Brown again, Chef's Kiss, wonderfully done. And a little footnote: that math book that's thrown at the kid by the father, I had that math book in grade 10.
Well, there you go.
So, and the shots of downtown Yonge Street in Toronto with A&A and A&A Records and Sam the Record Man. How many times did I go to those stores, like, on a Saturday afternoon and go look through record bins and lose myself in that, because that's where I felt like I belonged.
Hmm. Yeah.
A little side note. On one side you had Sam's and A&A's, and on the other side you had Music World, and you had Sunrise, which is still there, you know. But
Cool.
it's like when I see that video, I'm like, oh my God, I want to go back. But it's true. Oh my God. It's just a wonderful piece of music, a good slab of rock, and a classic. And it's Rush, it's just wonderfully done.
I remember, first hearing this on the radio. I think it was in advance of the album by a couple of weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember being in my buddy's garage again in high school, and we were just, we had the radio on, and this came on, and we all just kind of stood there afterwards and just kind of looked at each other, and we're like, "Oh my God, what was that?"
Yeah.
Because I mean, we all knew Moving Pictures, we all knew Exit Stage Left, but this was like a whole other level. And it wasn't just the fact of the shocking forwardness of the keyboards, it was just, lyrically, thematically, compositionally, from a music standpoint, they just upped their game seriously. And it's funny to say that given how much they already had upped the game moving from permanent waves to moving pictures. I mean, it's like, oh my God, what was there any stopping these guys? It's just like boom,
No,
boom, boom.
no,
So
they were just on a roll. They were
clearly
on a
the very late 70s, early 80s was the time where all the cylinders of the Rush engine were just unbelievably combustible.
Yeah, and I said this on another episode. An artist has to be able to adapt and move forward. And they obviously felt that they needed to do that with these albums going into the 80s, and close the book on the 70s, go into the 80s, and just go forward.
Yep.
And they weren't saying you need to come with us. They were saying, okay, if uh if this is not for you, we'll see you when we get back.
Yeah.
But we're on
Yep.
this road right now. and you want to stay with us, there's room. You don't want to stay with us, we understand. We love you.
Hmm.
We'll see you when we get back.
We can walk this road together if our goals are all the same.
Or we can diverge and go off in different directions and just live our lives, and then we'll come back together when it's supposed to happen.
Yep. Yep.
You know, not to get too philosophical, ladies and gentlemen, but
Too late.
oh, there you go. There you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a very short, quote unquote, episode on our Rush top 10 tracks. Top, no, 10 favorite tracks. Uh, I always love doing shows with this guy because it always goes off in different directions and stuff. um,
Guilty as charged, man.
there you go. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, please put down in the comments below your uh, top 10 favorite tracks from Rush. Again, no right or wrong answers. Which era of the band do you like? Do you like the early 70s, mid 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s? No limits, no judgments, just opinions. Let us know what you think. Put them down in the comments below. And yeah, it's been fun doing these Rush times three episodes, trying to sort of put them all together. And again, this is to remind everybody about the release of Grace Under Pressure coming out March 13th, right? By the and if you're able to fork out the money for that set, more power to you. So, but if you can't, I understand completely. I get it. I really do. Anyways, I want to thank Jim for joining me on this episode. It's been fun,
You're welcome. Let's
and
record another one when we're
I
done with this.
I do believe we will. And we will see you soon. Again, please click like and subscribe and do hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content we got coming up. We have more show ideas that we're working on, and we're going to get them to you as soon as we possibly can. Stay tuned. All right. And look after yourselves and one another. We'll see you soon on the music den. Bye for now.